All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to break down this really powerful reflection about personal transformation. It's all about a journey, a journey from a place of struggle all the way back to clarity and peace. We're going to explore exactly how this return to the light is mapped out. So, the source text kicks off with this really fascinating idea that hardship isn't just something to get through, but it's actually a source of wisdom. This one line kind of sets the stage for the whole journey we're about to explore, this path from feeling lost to finally being found.
The first part of this journey uses this incredible metaphor, the return of the prodigal son. It's all about that feeling of coming home after being in a really difficult and tense place.
And you can really see the contrast here, right? On one side, you've got the darkness, this feeling of being bruised, beaten, totally lost in confusion. But on the other side, there's the return. And that's not just about physically going somewhere, it's a feeling of clarity, of safety, and that deep, deep sense of finally being home. It's a huge shift from pain to peace.
Okay, so now we get to the heart of the reflection, which is where things get really interesting. The role of that darkness gets completely flipped on its head. It's not seen as just random suffering anymore, but as something with a very specific and even refining purpose.
And that just begs the question, right? If you're feeling lost, confused, maybe even like you've been intentionally led astray, how in the world can any of that be part of some bigger positive plan? Well, the reflection's answer is all wrapped up in one single, powerful concept. And that concept is refinement. The whole idea is that hardship isn't meant to punish you, it's preparation. It's this force that shapes you and molds you, not to break you down but to build you up.
And wow, this next line just captures it perfectly. Every wound became a doorway to grace. So instead of being a sign of damage, a wound actually becomes an opening. The pain itself is reframed as the very entry point for healing, for opportunity. I mean, that is a profound shift in how you see things.
So if we understand that darkness is a teacher, what's next? Well, this is where the text brings in the solution, the source of strength, the light. This is the point where the journey really finds its direction.
And it's not just an abstract idea, right? The text grounds this whole thing in a direct biblical reference from the words of Jesus. This statement is the bedrock for everything that follows. It's the source of all the guidance, the covering, and the peace that the author is seeking.
So what does this light actually do for you? It's not just some vague idea. The reflection gets super specific about its roles. It's a refuge when you need to hide, a guide when you're lost, and a source of rejuvenation when you're worn out. It's also a protective covering and a compass for direction, something that actively clears your path and brings you peace.
And here's a crucial point. This whole journey of renewal isn't a one-and-done kind of thing. Nope, it's a daily practice. And the next metaphor shows how this new beginning is something you can access every single morning.
And I just love this metaphor. It's so vivid, right? Framing each day as this gift that you get to unwrap, a chance to be reborn. The whole focus shifts from some big past event of returning home to this continuous daily act of renewing yourself and rediscovering life.
So how does it work? Well, it's laid out as this really clear three-step cycle. First, you die to yesterday. You consciously let go of all its weight. Second, you unwrap the gift of right now, this present moment. And finally, you rise renewed, ready to step into the new day with a real sense of purpose. It's a simple but incredibly powerful blueprint for transformation.
All right, so this brings us to the end of the journey, to the big takeaway. It's all about finding this enduring state of peace and holding on to the lasting promise that's described in this reflection.
And the promise at the core of all this is really about reassurance. It's saying that this guiding light isn't just there sometimes, it's a constant, unwavering presence. The real promise is that even in your absolute darkest moments, that source of hope is never actually gone. So, where does this all lead? What's the final destination? It's described as this final state of being forever magnetized to the good. It's not about constantly fighting off darkness anymore. It's about being naturally and permanently drawn toward light and love. So, if you put it all together, what's the big takeaway? The path from struggle to peace isn't some giant leap. It's a continuous, daily cycle of returning to your source, letting hardship refine you, and renewing your spirit every single morning. And that leaves us with one last, really powerful question to think about. The whole text suggests that our deepest moments of pain can become our greatest openings for grace and for growth. So, what would change if we started to see our own struggles not as dead ends, but as doorways?